So what I want to do real quick here is go through a diagram for going above your natural rate of output for the short term. So the setup is you are starting in your full levels of output, so you're at your natural rate, and you're looking at the U.S. economy, and there's some type of boom in Canada. So we want to then look at the short run and long run diagram to see how this boom will affect the United States economy. So let's walk through this. So the idea is you're at your natural rate of output originally, natural price levels, and then you have something that happens in Canada that causes more of a demand for U.S. products. So the idea is that net exports for U.S. GDP increases, that increases the overall demand for U.S. goods. So Canadians, their economy's booming, they buy more U.S. items, and really what should happen is if the United States was at full levels of output already, price levels should just rise. So all that should happen in the long run is price levels should go up, and there should be no change in the natural rate or production U.S. economy. So just because the Canadians want to buy more products really doesn't change our ability to produce, right? Our technology is the same, our number of workers the same, our productivity factors are all the same. So price levels should just rise. Just because you have more demand for something doesn't automatically mean that creates more stuff. So what should happen really is price levels should just increase, and you should stay at your natural rate of output. But what happens here is in the short term with imperfect price adjustments, there's more demand for products. Let's say some firms their labor costs didn't go up right away, so there's more demand for their products. Their final product is selling at a higher price. Their labor costs are maybe stuck with contracts. They become more profitable, so they'll try to produce more in the short run. So you end up with a short run boom in your economy. So you'll see that you're actually above and beyond your natural rate of output. It's like you're running your workers overtime, you're running your machinery overtime, you're producing it beyond what you really have the capacity to do for the long run. So then let's look what happens. And let's just say then eventually what happens is expectations of price levels start to go up. Those wage contracts that were locked in the short term get renegotiated. They get renegotiated higher because everything that the laborers are buying is more expensive. So the end contract for the laborers is a higher price once that frees up and isn't sticky anymore. At higher labor price, with that higher price, profitability falls for the firms, and the short run aggregate supply curve shifts to the left, and you're back at your long run natural rate. So let's just look at this. So if you could have perfect price adjustment, what would happen is when there's more demand from A1 to A2, you would instantly just go to P3 and price levels would rise and there'd be no temporary boom in the economy. But because prices are imperfect when it comes to adjusting the short term, you go from P1 to P2. So some prices rise, but not all of them, temporarily increasing profitability for firms. They kind of keep running the machinery and workers over time. Eventually what happens, all prices rise, like wage contracts are renegotiated, and then you end up back at your normal natural rate. Now, just a quick note of this. When you go to P3, notice your GDP is going to fall back down to the natural rate. Think about what that's going to feel like in the economy. It's going to feel like a recession. So this temporary boom, when it's over and GDP falls back to its natural rate, that will almost feel like a recession because the overall production of the economy is going to decrease. So it's interesting kind of to look at it that way, that the boom was really something that couldn't be sustained.